Good morning, or good evening, or good afternoon. This is me back to Windmill, and it certainly is windy. Unbelievably, I've drawn peg 8 again, but I suppose with only 9 people fishing the match, I suppose the probability was reasonably high, I guess. Well, I don't know what the percentage would be, like 12%? Anyway, I couldn't catch to save my life, and I couldn't hold the pole. Got pretty bored, as you can see. This ain't done to get the sympathy vote. Enjoying my duck wrap though, to be honest. Well, nice. No liners. Then all of a sudden, whack. Now you've got to be quite fierce. Because normally you just like to pick up the rod. The trouble is, if you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. And if they take in them ball rushes to the right, you're going to struggle to get them out, believe me. So I've chucked it slightly to my left. Now if peg 9 was in, and to be honest with you, I'd be really probably pushing my luck on the boundary, been halfway to peg 9. So if peg 9's in, to be honest with you, I think you're going to struggle to get them out on the method against these reeds. Believe me, because I was on it for 6 hours last week, and sometimes the rod's gone round, that's it, they're already in there. So you can't chuck it too tight because all the reeds haven't come all the way through, as in they ain't shown themselves fully. I felt like fishing an honest 18 something meters, just over 18 meters to that far bank. I was probably just off the reeds, but I couldn't hold it. I think even if Eddie Orr couldn't even hold it, to be honest, because you just break it, you know what I mean? It's just physics, isn't it? You know, you got such a long length of carbon, it's in the wind, you just can't keep it still, which is a bit of a shame really, because I think it's definitely worth a few fish. And last week it was even windier and I didn't bring my 2 more extensions for it, so, and I never would have been able to hold it. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger and Eddie Hall wouldn't be able to hold it. So method feeder, just fishing 0.22 main line to an 0.22 hook length. Been using the Colmic Spider, to be honest, because I found it just a little bit more durable. So obviously used the rig line for Maver, so the MVR stuff, that's been pretty good. And the X5000, again, that's pretty good line, used that for years. But to be honest with you, I've forgotten how good Spider actually is, because it's really, really durable. So obviously fishing against snags where your tackle's going to be really tested and ripped through reeds and debris and stuff, then obviously that, for me, I don't think there's a better line. I really don't. Got to be careful your knots. So you got to really wet it, make sure your knot doesn't slip. And if it doesn't slip, like I said years ago when I used to work for Colmic, trust me, it's such a good line. Down the edge, just fishing 0.23 spider line straight through. To be fair, it might have been a little bit overgun because there's no real sort of snags or anything. But then fishing a 3.2 hollow elastic through a short kit, you ain't going to get broke, that's for sure. Because you're catching much bigger fish down the edge normally, to be honest with you could get away with this sort of like heavier gear. If you foul look anything, then you're going to be in trouble. Probably pull out. But like if they were smaller carp than that, then I think you're going to have to fish a lot lighter elastic, because obviously it'd just be a bit too savage. And then if you're against the reeds where it's deep, then this stuff comes into its own, and even using like a 4mm as well. And again, line wise, you've got to fish something really, really durable. So for me, down the edges, I'll fish 0.25, and I'm not lying, I've got some rigs with 0.30 on it, and if you're fishing 0.30, you can't tie a spade on it. Might seem a bit excessive, but not a bit funny. Again, the fish are going to take you into the reeds, and I'd sooner like have half as many bites and get out almost all my fish, rather than obviously, you know, line getting broke and stuff. And in the carp world, 0.30 is probably a light, isn't it, to be honest. So the match was a lot different to what it was last week. It fished really hard last week. Now, don't get me wrong, it's fished quite tough for most anglers today. There was 3 of us that were all in contention and insanely close, because a little bit funny, the fish literally do probably average £7. So I've had an honest 17 carp for £127. Towner next to me has had 15 carp and he's weighed I think £66. But sometimes it's like that against them reeds and bulrushes. The fish can be a lot smaller, so you've got to be careful with that. You can get a lot more bites, but you've got to be careful trying to get them out, and it can be almost like a thankless task. He's caught well late. Well, not well. He's had a couple of big fish late to his right against the bare bank. It's a bit like me. I've fishing against the bare bank, got no snags or anything at all. Last week I caught a meat and ground bait. I had 7 down the edge. All to my left. Never caught nothing to my right. But I've only had 1 to my left today. Never caught nothing on meat. Caught on maggots. So figure that out. And I've obviously caught better to my right. It's like a little bush. It's a little bit deeper. So it's, to my left it's 14 inches deep. And to my right it's about 18 inches deep. And then I've caught a few fish actually on paste and open water. I had to feed a bit of ground bait to get them there, to be honest. And here I'm a little bit worried what net to put it in. It's quite good with my splitting. I had 42, 38, 37, and then I don't know which one to put this in, so I just put another net in to just be on the safe side. That one fish went £7.10.